Host Fredia Cheetah Gibbs, three-time world kickboxing champion, known as the most dangerous woman in the world. Wow! Starting round one, my guest today is boxing legend Christy Martin, the coal miner's daughter. She should be on the phone. Are you there, Christy? Christy?
Hey, what's happening, Cheetah?
What's going on, baby girl? Welcome to the Cheetah's Den.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for taking the time. You know, it's always good to talk to everybody up there on the West Coast.
Absolutely. Welcome to Los Angeles, Christy. A few things that I wanted to share here. As you know, you're WBC lightweight world champion, and obviously you were the first female boxer signed with promoter Don King. And you are the one who actually put women's boxing on the map here in America. How do you feel about that being number one, Christy?
You know, I guess the good thing is always to be the first, no matter what comes along after you. But the thing is, and you know this better than anybody, when I was out there doing my thing, I just tried to fit into the boxing world, just tried to put on a heck of a show for the fans each and every time out. You know, I was so fortunate to be hooked up with King and fighting on those Tyson undercards, Chavez, Trinidad, all those guys. I mean, I got to fight with so many Hall of Famers and so many legends, and just to be around those guys, it just, you know, it made you better, just being around them.
You're absolutely correct. Now, you were recently inducted into the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Can you give us your take on that? I mean, you're around all these legends. You know what that means about you?
You know what? I think it's still sinking in some, to be honest with you. Awesome. You know, what can I say? I got the call from Rich Murata. I had no idea I was even under consideration, because things like that, that's like, you know, you dream about. You never really think it's going to come true, but you always think, wow, wouldn't that be so awesome to be up there on the dais with those great legends, and then to be up there. It was overwhelming, and like I said, it's still sinking into me.
That's phenomenal. You know what that means? That's because you're just a phenomenal woman. Just keep that in mind.
Well, you know, you're kind. You're kind. Thank you.
Now, I also was reading your information, and I noticed that you were actually in the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. I didn't even know they had an International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. So you know what that means, right?
Well, it means that somebody out there needs to be talking to you, is what it means. But, you know, it was, I think, only like this is the third year maybe for the Hall of Fame for women, and Sue Fox, I think, was really behind that, as well as Bonnie Canino. And, you know, to be inducted the first year, Sue even went as far as to break a little bit of the rules, because I hadn't really been retired long enough. So to take me in with that first class, break the rules to take me in with the first class, I think, you know, that made a big statement, and it made me feel more acceptance than I ever felt from the women's side of boxing, for sure.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I notice here that I've actually seen a couple of your fights, okay, and you really do deserve to be in the bare knuckle Hall of Fame. I just want you to know you need to be there, because I'll never forget my mother watching you fight, and she was like, if ever you get in that ring, don't you go toe to toe with that woman, because she go toe to toe, blow to blow, she'll knock your brains out.
You know, that was my thing. That's my style. I guess that's somewhat of my personality. I just had some fight in me. I had some, probably had some anger issues. And just, you know, people would say when I got hit, when I started bleeding, that's when the fight started. Mm-hmm. And there might have been some truth to that. Sometimes it took me taking a good shot to really start fighting hard. And, you know, as I said, I just wanted to go out there, put on a good show for the fans.
Yeah, you've always fought hard. I mean, real hard. In fact, I saw one of your fights actually a couple of them. One, I was working Mia St. John's corner when you fought Mia St. John that first
right.
time. That was absolutely awesome fight.
It was, you know, it was too bad that the guy who promoted it didn't promote it. You know, we fought in a cold, where do we fight? Up in Detroit somewhere. And, you know, it was cold. There was, you know, very limited crowd, and it's not too bad. It was disappointing with the promotion side of it, but you know, Mia's a lot tougher than everybody gives her credit. She takes a hell of a shot. You know, she's a tough woman. She's smart. She knew how to promote herself, and sometimes she didn't just promote herself boxing, but personally as well.
I got you. And can I just say something? I don't want you to be mad at me, okay? I thought she won that fight. And I'm not saying that because I worked the corner, but I really thought she won that fight, or it was a draw.
No, man, no. Something must have happened. Somebody drugged your water before the fight.
Now, I heard that you are now a promoter, boxing promoter, and you have Pink Promotions. Can you give us your take on Pink Promotion? How did you start this?
Well, I set up the company a couple years ago, and I thought I wanted to throw my hat into the promotion ring because I just wanted to stay involved in boxing some way. And I had a stroke back in 2011, and the only way I could really stay involved was to be a promoter, be a manager, be a trainer. To be a trainer, you have to be able to be at the gym with the fighter every day, be at their beck and call, really. Be the babysitter, be the mama, be the papa, be everything. And I really wasn't ready to make that kind of commitment, but I thought, well, let me try promotion. And I'm trying it here in Charlotte, North Carolina, where boxing's not really popular, but I'm trying my best to take a local kid, Quentin Rankin, and make him a household name here in his hometown. But we have another big fight on that show, a women's NABF bantamweight title fight that is probably going to be the fight of the night.
Awesome. You got to have some good folks on the card. But why did you choose pink? What's the signature? Is it pink for cancer, or what's that all about?
Throughout my career, I always wore pink, and it just kind of stuck. I remember showing up at a press conference after one of my fights in orange, and people were like, "Christy, we don't want a picture with you in orange. Where's your pink?" And I'm like, "Guys, do you think that I only have pink in my closet?" So, it's kind of known as always with the pink, so I thought, why not? Just call Pink Promotion. It's not one of those, again, you don't have to live up to it. It's just, it's who I am.
Yeah, I understand. Now, one of the things I also wanted, one of the most important things that we wanted to discuss is you bringing awareness to domestic violence. How did this all come about? Would you share that with us?
Well, a lot of people in the boxing world maybe remember that, almost 6 years ago now, I was shot and stabbed, left for dead by my now ex-husband. So domestic violence is something that is very, very near and dear to my heart. And I have had a great relationship with a couple counselors here in Charlotte at Safe Alliance. And I thought, what a way to help give back to the community and to bring more awareness to domestic violence, because people just don't get it. Still today, as much as we see it on TV, as many athletes are getting in trouble for domestic violence, people still just don't want to speak out about it.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's very important. It's something that I'm pretty passionate about, and I want to say that I'm very sorry, that what happened to you. But God chooses people for reasons, and He chose a very prominent woman who is the first in America to introduce women's boxing. So now you have an opportunity to shed a lot of light and awareness on domestic violence, and I think that's awesome. It's my understanding you got a show coming up soon. Is that correct?
We're going to do a show here in Charlotte, October 19th, and in support or to help bring awareness to domestic violence. We're going to have Carlette Ewell is going to come in and spar with Mann, two great women fighters that are just going to go out there, spar, put on a good show. But prior to the event, to their sparring, or maybe just after, we're going to have a speaker from Safe Alliance, the local domestic violence shelter here, kind of talk to the crowd just for like a minute or two to help people understand domestic violence can be your neighbor, your daughter, your best friend, and you just have to be aware of the little signs and be there. When they decide it's time to reach out to somebody, be there with a shoulder for them to cry on, an ear for them to talk to, whatever they may need. You have to be there and not be afraid to step up and help them.
Right, yeah, very important. What do you think the solution is when it comes to domestic violence, Christy?
I just think it's going to be really speaking to young people and have them understand there's so much disrespect for women, and women disrespect themselves. That's why I teach school in a high school here, and I try to tell the girls, if you're going to be disrespectful to yourself like that, how do you think a man or anyone else is going to respect you.
That's right.
You have to respect yourself first, and that's part of the problem. I think we as women sometimes are not strong enough, and we're not strong enough to stand our ground to whomever our abuser may be. And abuse doesn't have to always be physical. That is another thing that I want to really speak out about it and bring people, open their eyes to. It's control and manipulating and just wanting to be like a master. You know, I refer to my ex-husband as a puppet master for the entire time I was married to him, and he actually thought that was a compliment. So if you're with somebody that thinks that's a good thing, you need to run as fast as you can in the opposite direction.
Yeah, it's very important, you know, to avoid even getting to the level where it becomes violent. You know, God always shows us the signs, you know, and it's important that we pay attention to those red flags. And oftentimes, I know in the past, I used to give people 3 strikes. Today, I give you 1 strike, 1 flag, that's it, you got to go. You know, to avoid having a situation escalate to a violent situation. That makes sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because that's part of the problem. You know, we give too many people too many opportunities, and, you know, the first time it may be just a shoving match or just someone putting you down, and then the next time it's a little stronger. You know, if you give them that 3rd strike, the 3rd strike might be it for you.
Your life, so exactly.
You know, it's one and done, like you said, one and done.
Unbelievable. But I'm just going to throw a little curveball here. So when you going on Dancing on the Air? Dancing with the Stars. Are you kidding me? I have no rhythm. You see me fight. Do I fight with rhythm? I have no rhythm. Yeah, you throw those blows with rhythm.
I wish I could dance. So, no, I don't think we'll be seeing me on there anytime soon.
Okay, what makes you really, really happy, Christy?
You know what? Just being free. Being free.
Okay.
Feeling free.
I hear you. Now, another thing I wanted to ask, you know, in regards to domestic violence, since that's something that you are, you know, an ambassador for, because I am as well. I was speaking with one of the CEOs here in Los Angeles who happens to be the CEO of About Face, domestic violence organization here in L.A. And what they wanted to know is if you, since you're promoting, if you would come to Los Angeles and you know, do a nice big promotion here for boxing and MMA, etc., for you know, domestic violence out here. Would you be willing to collaborate and us do that?
Absolutely. You know, I think first, I love boxing, so anytime I have an opportunity to be involved in boxing, that's for sure. But what supersedes that is domestic violence, and we have to, any chance I get to tell my story, to get up there and bring awareness to. Just to the cause. I mean, people, as I keep saying, you know, people just don't get it. And anything we could do to help bring the awareness, stop the violence. At some point, sometime.
Yeah. So what's your take on this? Don't you think, what happened to boxing? You know, how suddenly boxing just you put women's boxing on the map, and then boxing altogether just kind of like is fading away. What's really going on? Can you help us out since you're in that industry?
You know, I know that a lot of people are thinking, oh, well, you know, the UCF's taking over, the UFC's taking over. I mean, and you know, I don't know if that's it, or if we just have boxing, the best fighters don't fight the best fighters. We have had, thank goodness, you know, Al Heyman's putting boxing on every channel now, free TV, and that will hopefully help get a resurgence back in the sport. But you know, who can afford $60 and $70 every weekend to watch maybe a good? And then you don't know the undercard fighters. At least now with all the free TV, we're getting to see fighters build their records, build their character, build a reputation, and we want to follow those guys and see how they're going to do in the sport. So, you know, hopefully we'll have a superstar come out. Maybe one of the Olympians, or just out of the blue, you know, maybe, who knows, Quentin Rankin might be our next star. Then we also have Christian Camacho on the show. You know, maybe he'll follow in his father's footsteps and be that flamboyant, young, he's a good-looking guy, great smile. So he may be the future.
Well, We wish those guys the best. Absolutely. I can tell you a little solution because I'm a mixed martial arts. I'm from martial arts. Well, then I made the transition to boxing. But as a martial artist and looking at the boxing world, I think one of the biggest solutions that boxing needs to do is stop going 12 long rounds. Okay, reduce that down to 5 rounds. Okay, so that those guys who getting that big money, so they can really duke it out those first 5 rounds and duke it out real hard. Okay, and then that gives the undercard guys who are really training hard and going toe to toe like you used to do, give them an opportunity to get some exposure as well. I think that's what they need to do because 12 rounds, that's just too long.
12 rounds is long, but we have to remember some of the greatest wars we've ever had in boxing were 15 rounders. So I think it's just the standards of boxing that the fighter should be conditioned to go hard for 12 rounds. That's the thing. Now we're looking for the easy way out. Guys are training in air conditioning. They're training with carpeted gyms. Are you kidding me? My gym in Florida was, no carpet. I had AC, would not turn it on. This is the middle of Florida. I mean, it's so hot in there. Guys just don't train like that anymore. We have to get back to old school. Training hard, getting in great shape to box. Everybody's worried about, oh, this is my conditioning guy. Yeah, you're conditioned. You're great. You want to be a runner? Be a runner. But we're fighters, so you have to practice fighting. And that's what I think that a lot of our fighters now are getting away from. They're not putting their time in the gym. They're not sparring. They're not working as hard as we used to. And that's why we don't see action-packed 12-rounders anymore.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You know the old saying, everybody wants to be a world champion, but nobody wants to do what it takes or take the necessary steps to make it happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. People have no idea the sacrifices that have to be made in order to become a world champion, and not just to get there, but to stay there once you get there.
That's the key. That's the key. I just want to share something with you. You've done some amazing things for boxing. I want to say thank you so very much. And one of the things that Steve Harvey said, and I just want to share it. He said, Steve Harvey said, it's all, when we're born, that's great. We should celebrate. And when we make our transition, we should also celebrate. But what's really most important is the legacy that we leave in between. So to know that you're going to leave a legacy, to Christy, that's going to live on forever, how does that make you feel? I mean, 200, 300 years from now, that everybody going to know who Christy Martin is. I mean, come on. How does that make you feel, baby girl?
Wow. I'm just a small town girl from southern West Virginia, coal miner's daughter. It's bigger than I can really fathom. It's bigger than I can realize or understand.
It is.
It truly is. I'm just simple. I'm your next door neighbor. You can knock on any door, and I'm the one that'll answer. So there's no attitude, there's no arrogance or anything with me. It's just the average person, and that stuff it doesn't really settle in with me that, wow, you have really made a statement. So I appreciate the kind words, but maybe in 20 more years, it'll sink in.
Well, you did. Well, no, don't let it take that long because you need to continue enjoying it now. So how can we follow you, Christy?
You can follow me at Facebook, Christy Martin, Instagram, Christy Martin, anytime, anywhere. People contact me through my website. I always try to answer everybody back. It may be short, 1 or 2 words, but I try to get back to everybody. I appreciate the fans, always ready to take pictures, sign autographs, shake hands, whatever, because of those fans and those people remembering my fights. That's why at night, I can sit down and smile and, wow, I did make a statement.
Oh yeah, you made a major statement. So I just want you to know that there.